saw some sussy-wussy clips of Taiga floating around, which is why I personally believe that it probably was.
Welcome, acolytes. Today I am reacting to an awful situation from Nux. If you don't know what this is about, Nux effed up big time and basically slandered a smaller streamer named Taiga that basically didn't do anything wrong, because, well, let's just say he got cleared of anything, any wrongdoing, and he was actually slandered by Nux and other creators. It wasn't not... Nux was basically the biggest and the baddest one, and it was disgusting. It was just disgusting how casually he even did it. It wasn't good. It wasn't good in any way, shape, or form. And this was 2 years ago, and still haunts him. And in my opinion, it's actually quite good. Now, if it actually comes out that Taiga for some reason isn't innocent, then yes, I'm gonna change my mind. But for now, Taiga seems totally innocent. There isn't anything negative about him. So, Nux basically just effed him over for no real reason. But at the end, we just have to see and look how he apologized. Maybe this apology is actually deserving. Maybe this time he won't casually throw it out and be an a-hole about it and just apologize. It will be done. Because he cannot really fix the things he made wrong. Maybe he could make them better and just collab with Taiga, because at one point Nux actually wanted to collab with Shadman. If you don't know who Shadman is, well, it's a pedo. Nux thrown the exact same allegations on Taiga's head and didn't want to correct him, but a full-grown on freaking pedo was fine. That's fine. That's completely fine. He's in for it. He wanted a collab, not the poor victim he actually, well, basically effed over. So, let's start and see what Nux has to say.
A YouTuber complaining about YouTube's policy changes. What is it, Tuesday? No, but in a serious note, this is a serious video. A lot of YouTubers, a lot of VTubers especially, a lot of friends of mine, and a lot of not so friends of mine have gotten banned on YouTube lately. It's been a little bit crazy, a little bit hectic. I hate the rule changes, and we're gonna be talking about it, not just because rules are being changed, but because YouTube's rules are not enforced fairly. They never have been, they probably never will be, and I don't think this video itself will change anything. I just hope it amplifies the voices that are screaming in the darkness, and hopefully, maybe, possibly, YouTube could rectify some of the terrible...
Okay, what the F? He actually doesn't apologize about it. Did somebody actually F me over? I just heard this is the apology. Maybe it comes later. Okay, let's
decisions they've been making in regards to enforcing their policies. There are two types of YouTube bans, okay? There is YouTube's copyright section, where they will give you copyright strikes if you violate the copyright or whatever. And then there are the community guideline strikes. Community guideline strikes can come from all sorts of things, whether it's like some guy on YouTube is doing lately, trying to torture himself and stay awake for 12 days straight, which Mutahar just covered in a video. So that got a strike for promoting self-harm, but community guideline strikes also super...
I mean, okay. I think that's fine. Because yes, doing that actually is self-harm to a very big degree. Don't do it, please. If you're... No, just don't. There isn't any reason to do that. That's just disgusting. Don't self-harm that way.
Often is not just in regards to self-harm or incredibly edgy content, but sexual content is super duper under the YouTube radar, and YouTube is trying their very best to nuke that. Other notable cases of community guideline strikes that happens a lot are, misinformation, especially when it's dangerous misinformation. Sneeko made a lot of really awful...
Oh! So is there any potential that he gets caught for his misinformation about Taiga? Is he defending himself right now? Nah, this would be scummy. I mean, he would deserve it though. If there is a one up for misinformation, he would definitively deserve a hit.
Disgusting comments about raping other content creators and but that's not what got him banned. He got banned for misinformation. Yeah, the YouTube system is weird and it's broken and it'll never be perfect, but we aim to try. We strive to make the world a better place. As someone that has been abused both by the copyright system and the community guideline system multiple times in the past, trying to navigate myself through that as much as possible, I felt like I really wanted to make this video and talk about it with an inside perspective of all the awful nightmare scenarios that a lot of people are going through. Now, I want to preface by saying, if anyone has issues with the YouTube copyright system, someone is trying to abuse them, let's say, and bully them into silence with false copyright strikes and trying to get their private...
If that ever happens, please F them over, get them out here. And I won't say that don't bully them. But if something bad happens to them, it didn't hit an innocent. No, did it? Accept it and go your day.
Information and all that. YouTube actually does do a very good job at trying to help them if they get in contact with them. If you or someone you know is having that problem, try to reach out to me. Maybe I can try my best to put you in contact with people to try to work that out. A good friend of mine, best guy ever, recently had his entire channel taken down by YouTube because of copyright abuse, and we actually worked it out. We got it back. It worked.
I have a lot of people to thank for it, such as Nux and Mark, who are here today, so I can say arigato gozaimasu.
When it comes to community guideline violation bans, you're unless you could stir up some sort of storm that'll make YouTube change its mind, there's really nothing you can do because it's completely arbitrary. When it comes to copyright abuse, someone is abusing the copyright system, which is a legal system, so YouTube could maybe potentially step in if they recognize that it's being done abusively. When it comes to community guidelines, it is purely up to the whims of the YouTube reviewers, and it is fucked up. So today, in this video...
Yeah, that's more a luck game than anything else.
We're going to be talking about a few friends of mine that got banned due to the community guideline system, where unfortunately there's nothing that I know of that could be done aside from the storm option, which is why we are going down the storm path, people. First things first, I wanted to talk about my friends MXR Plays that recently got banned off YouTube. They have had a tumultuous battle with YouTube for a very, very long time. They've gotten so many false strikes and real strikes and fake strikes and shit strikes over the years for a myriad of reasons, from sexual content to promoting abusive practices and all sorts of garbage. YouTube had it out for them for a while. Admittedly, their thumbnail game was very edgy, but what really grinds my...
very edgy and very sexual. I do not care what you think about it. If you find them entertaining, that's fine. But their thumbnails were freaking disgusting. Those thumbnails were really, really bad. And I watched their content, like, it's fine. The content itself is a joy. But the thumbnails, those were really bad.
My gears is the final strike that got them banned off the platform was a strike for a clip that YouTube manually approved months earlier that they retroactively decided, nope, this does violate the guidelines, and struck them down for that. That was the final strike, and that got them banned off the platform. This is a travesty, and I'll be linking their Patreon in the description. They're still making content there.
Yeah, that sounds unfair.
But for now, I want to show you the clip of where I found out that they actually got banned off YouTube from my stream, and what they actually had to say about it and describe their ban, because no one could describe their ban better than they can. So before diving into the VTuber portion of this video, which is a whole other can of worms, I want to look at this.
Checked out the channel recently. You saw that MXR Plays is terminated. And yeah, that's true. It is completely gone. We are basically officially banned from YouTube. I can no longer operate my other channels, start a new channel, or do anything on YouTube anymore.
Same probably goes for me.
And probably Genie as well.
Actually, Genie, it depends. If the channel's under Henry's name, Genie might be able to get away with it. Unless they put all their channels under the same, like, AdSense account. But otherwise, Genie might be able to get away with it. Maybe. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that what happened to them is correct, because clearly if they are innocent or they already did everything they could and still got effed over, that's unfair. It shouldn't happen. As I said, the only thing about their content were the thumbnails. The thumbnails were sexual as fuck. Do not get me wrong. It was sexual as F. If they got banned for that, I would understand it, but it seems like, or at least how they present and he presents it, it's not the case, and that's bullshit.
Maybe.
We got another strike. We got a third strike, and it was on a video that was uploaded almost a year ago.
God, I hate that.
So they were...
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. A year ago. I mean, technically... Now, they should give you a warning about that. Not a direct strike, because if it's 1 year there, you maybe... You probably just don't know. And that's a very different thing than actually just pretending that it's alright. Yeah.
Were okay with that video being up. They had approved it. It was on the website for almost a year with no issues. I guess they changed their mind, they changed their rules. Whatever it is, they decided to give a strike on it today. 8 days before our first strike was gonna fall off. So the timing seems absolutely...
This is awful. Where are they going to post an update other than Patreon if YouTube won't let them? Twitter? To rile up the Twitter people? I feel like that's kind of the only move right now for them.
Impeccable there for something that is extremely not really against the rules. Okay, so the clip was basically for unwanted sexualization or non-consensual touching, except the girl that was being non-consensually touched was smiling through the entire video. And
yeah, I'm gonna be honest here, if it comes to that stuff, I am extremely skeptic about those two, because the sexual stuff with them, it's just really, really hard to believe that they are innocent on that specific thing. On that specific thing, it's hard to believe, because yeah, if you see their content, they are just clickbaiting exactly that and showing that stuff in their videos, and that's at best, it's extremely hard on the freaking grenze. So not with this.
it was also her own video that she had recorded for her Instagram.
Wait. They got banned for non-consensual touching, and the girl posted the video herself? Dude, YouTube. So here's the thing. I've been saying for this for a while. MXR needed to dial down his thumbnail game, and I feel like his thumbnails were awesome, okay? Henry made fucking kick-ass thumbnails that got clicks and shit. But god damn.
Posted on her,
Like, they were on YouTube's shit list for a very long time. It's so sad. God damn it.
her Instagram page, and it is also obviously a skit.
Yeah, it's probably staged and consensual, but what the fuck? I'd get a strike for that for sure. Like, I don't even need to think about it. Oh my god. Dude, wow. Okay, listen.
So, okay. Basically, you posted it. It's not okay. You got banned for it. I don't see the problem for that one. Well, no, I still see a problem, because it's not really a reason, in my opinion, it's not a reason to actually instantly ban them. They still should get a chance of actually getting rid of the clip. Any kind of, hey, no, don't do this.
There was a whole ass nipple in there. Listen, that wasn't YouTube friendly. Oh, man. Oh, dude. Like, here's the thing. Here's the issue with YouTube. Like, you would think that sometimes if you upload a video,
Yeah, okay, good. I'm just looking at it. There are other things. Mr. Okay, place. That's fine, good. irrelevant. Good. Let's just skip to the treatment. That could be interesting.
But alas, it is the case. Tangentially, I hate the idea of going back to somebody's old content that was pre-approved by YouTube and taking it down because it violates current day guidelines. I think that sets a terrible precedent to, well, YouTube potentially going around and just whacking anybody because they decided, oh, they don't want drama videos on the platform anymore. Oh, the word fuck? That's a racial slur now, going against people that aren't virgins. We're retroactively banning anyone that said that. Now, again, kind of on a tangent, a little teeny itty bitty one. I've been making content on YouTube for like 10 years now. I hate a lot of my old content. I think it was not good content. I think the thumbnails I used, which at the time were acceptable because of shock humor crap, are something that I have grown past and something that I don't do anymore. A lot of you may not remember that I used to be a anime community nerd, and I loved it there, and I loved me some good animes, and I eventually branched out. My content has changed over time, still do love me some animes. But if you go back in time 3-4 years and you look at the thumbnails of that era in the anime community, it's not something I would necessarily put my stamp of approval on today. And you don't need to take my word for it. Look at Joey, the anime man, biggest anime channel on the platform. Look at his thumbnails from 3-4 years ago, and they are not the same thumbnails that even he is doing today.
Oh, pretty shocking. But okay. And yeah, I agree with him with the retroactively punishing people. That was okay 10 years ago. I would say 4 months is okay. Because you still actually need some time of looking at the stuff. No. If it's approved, it's approved. If you disapprove it in a week, that's fine. But everything above that is bullshit.
For whatever reason, that shock culture was around then. Putting, frankly, immoral shit on thumbnails was kind of the name of the game, as much as I hate that it was in retrospect. You want to call me a hypocrite for changing some of my old thumbnails? That's acceptable.
Oh, I understand. Okay, good. Now I remember. Nux? That's why he's building this up. Yep, Bungo Taiga Situation. Now, this is something interesting because he's building up the set of, I think that's bullshit, that this shouldn't be this way, and that people get judged beforehand. My thumbnails are different right now. He actually got cut because he said he doesn't like lollies. He thinks it's a perverted state or something very sexual. I was of the same opinion for a time, but I got proven wrong. And he just changed the freaking thumbnails because he got caught that he is a total hypocrite. So this argument just makes, I think he just wants to soften the impact after he talks about Taiga. Now I get it. Okay. Now it's way more interesting. Let's just hear what he has to say about it and what he will say about Taiga.
Call it recognizing that you are a bit of a dumbass. But judging the worth of someone's character due to errors of their past that they have since tried to rectify is not the same as YouTube judging errors of one's past based on an arbitrary rule system that they've come up to enforce judgment upon the heathens on the platform. If YouTube accepts something as monetizable content and doesn't see it as an issue, it should be grandfathered into the YouTube rules and should not in retrospect be taken down 10 months later and given a community guideline strike.
I agree for the most part. As I said, a week is fine just because people can still make a mistake, even those who actually control the content. And it goes both ways. On the one hand, you could have actually a bad situation where somebody blocks the thing you do, and after that just says, oh no, it's fine, just post it. That's good for the person, but it also can go the opposite way of, okay, it was fine, but now it's not. And I would say a week is totally fine for that, for a reason. But also on the other hand, if it's, I'm not sure about it. I think I have to think about it a bit longer, because this is a bit of a more complicated theme that I initially think, because at the end of the day, my content, I mean, if somebody says, hey, I don't want you posting this video, I would just take it down to, what did I lose? A day work. It's still shitty, but it's just that they work. But there are videos that go over hours, days, and months of production. And if those don't get a proper came through at the start, that's shitty. Yeah, okay.
Because of it. Moving into VTuber world, I have had a sinking suspicion, and I believe it's basically been confirmed to me at this point, at least subjectively, that VTubers are not treated in the same way that regular human fleshy YouTubers are. Now, I'm not gonna take this to a racist place and say that you just hate people that are two-dimensional. No, but that was the end of the sentence. I was actually looking into this a while ago and got no definitive evidence, and because there's never going to be definitive evidence. However, I spoke to a lot of clippers that specifically clipped VTubers. The strikes and age restrictions on their videos were absolutely mind-boggling. A flesh tuber can say some and we'd be totally fine with it, and then a VTuber will do the same and then for some
A flesh tuber. Okay. I dig it.
reason, YouTube will count that as sexual content, but will not count the real-life human being that says that as sexual content. I don't know if YouTube regards VTubers as you know, ecchi anime or like hentai characters in real life or some like that, but VTubers are definitely given the short end of the stick when it comes to sexual content, especially when it comes to short clips. Because if you take a 1-minute clip of someone saying something sussy-wussy, then you got 100% of the video sussy-wussy content, and you know, you don't want YouTube to just say, oh, that's degenerate, we're taking that down immediately.
Yet, to be fair, a lot of people go on the freaking, like, to the end, they are just so hard on it that it's just better to get a readout, but I also don't agree with it. Why should it be way harsher on VTubers than anything else? It should be the same thing. Especially, we don't want a freaking Twitch situation where you literally can fuck someone on the camera and you get a 3-day ban. If a VTuber overdoes it, good, punish them. If a flesh tuber overdoes it, I love it. If a flesh tuber overdoes it, same thing, same treatment. Both are human beings. Both overdone it.
Which I believe is actually the case for a lot of VTubers, and VTuber clippers especially can attest to this. I spoke to Cooksy, I spoke to a bunch of other VTuber clippers. Everyone suffers from the same issue, crazy age restrictions and strikes. Now, a friend of mine, Shy Lily, her clip channel on YouTube was recently taken down, which is insane, because why the f would it be taken down? Why would you take down her clip channel, but her actual YouTube channel, which is highlights of her streams, is not taken down? But the clip channel, which is really short, and usually sussy-wussy clips, that gets taken down. That's gonzo. That violates the guidelines. Sexual content, yeah, it's over. Now, Shy Lily is not some small creator, is not someone that had hate brigades sent against her to rash report her. Shy Lily is a unanimously loved, incredibly wholesome content creator, not just because she has a blowhole, but for some reason, the clip channel was still removed. That sucks, and I really would like it to be back, despite the storm that Shy Lily has been causing on Twitter, and everyone's been talking about it. For some reason, YouTube just turns a deaf ear and blind eye to the situation and just doesn't budge because YouTube just doesn't need to budge. They are a soulless corporate entity and will never ever decide to do something that they decided already not. Why should they change their mind on something if they could simply just dick you over and not change their mind to do that? Now, finally, I would like to address the elephant in the room. I want to talk about the very wrongful termination of Bungo Taiga's YouTube channel and why I think spreading the word for him to get reinstated is very important. First, we must talk back.
That's actually good. That's a really good start.
Backstory. In July 2022, Taiga was accused of grooming, pedophilia, abusing his mods, racism, transphobia, asking for the lewds of a 17-year-old when he was 19, and commissioning shota hentai, which is lolly porn of little anime boys, and being inappropriate with his community in regards to the shota stuff. Now, this isn't a Bungo Taiga video, I'm just trying to set the stage so you understand basically the story here. But after these accusations dropped, Taiga left the internet for about 5 months, and I was on a video with Charlie where we were talking about corporate VTuber drama, like the HoloLive dramas and the Niji dramas before the Niji dramas really went nuclear. And when he asked me about Taiga, I said, I don't know the full story, but apparently he's a pedo. I was wildly irresponsible making a claim like that, as there was not sufficient evidence for that shit. The DMs that were leaked were not of that shit. and 2 months later, Taiga was exonerated of the grooming allegations by a private eye that he hired, and I made a huge up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation and for causing any undue hate to be sent Taiga's way. I am sorry for how I handled that. I'm sorry for how I said it. I have tried to do better since then, and I will continue to try to do better in the future. Anywho, I immediately apologized to Taiga privately, as well as cut that portion out of the video.
Okay, let's just... It's Halfest apology.
Added a pinned comment explaining my mistake. I also apologized again publicly on our podcast in the first 10 minutes of an episode, which, by the way, got way more views than the video where I originally peddled the false allegation. Maybe not sub-count-wise, but relevancy-wise, the Some Ordinary podcast was my biggest platform. I'll play the clip here, because somehow people don't know this exists. And I regret it, because he, you know...
Yes, somehow people don't know they exist. People don't watch specifically you all the time. You're not the best thing since sliced bread. Nobody or not... Most people just don't give a fuck about you. And yes, you have a giant viewer base, but even then, even with your gigantic viewer base, most of the world doesn't give a fuck about you. What they give a fuck about is when somebody is a pedo.
I don't know if it's true. He ended up coming back with some sort of response. I don't know, this guy Bungo Taiga, and I apologized to him privately that I even alleged something like that. And, like, because a friend told me, and I believed him. Every time this topic came up, I apologized, be it in streams or videos, as I really do try to take accountability when I screw up. 2 years later, in the present day, it seems like the public narrative is, I never apologized publicly. This is untrue. It also is that I refuse to talk about this, and I'm sweeping it under the rug. This is also untrue. But also, in the wake of Taiga getting banned, people on YouTube seem to be blaming me for his unjust ban, which is wildly untrue as well. I think Taiga believes his channel was banned due to being mass reported by people harassing him, and I think that he thinks most of that harassment is coming from me. I very much don't believe either of those two things are the case. First of all, I don't think that after 2 years of a tangential mention of Taiga, which I f***ed up, and I admit I f***ed up, and I am sorry for plus the retraction of that statement and the apologies that I've made, I don't think it's my audience harassing Taiga right now. And second of all, I spoke to people at YouTube about bans due to mass reporting specifically. They told me direct mass reporting channels does not get them banned under any circumstances. It may put them under a microscope to be reviewed by YouTube reviewers, and then for YouTube reviewers to decide about whether the channel should be banned or not for whatever reason, but the mass reporting does not incite the ban. There are a lot more cases of a lot more prominent and hated content creators that are still on YouTube, and quite frankly, maybe shouldn't be. So I saw some sussy-wussy clips of Taiga floating around, which is why I personally believe that it probably was a termination due to sexual content. Especially because it lines very, very well up with all these other VTubers that are literally getting ass blasted by YouTube for sexual content, like Shy Lily's clip channel. Do you know that a lot of debuts for HoloLive and Niji Sanji end up getting their accounts locked for sexual content? In the VTuber agency Mythos, Apollo and Hades, two content creators there, each got sexual content community guideline strikes on their channels for bull reasons, doing content that does already exist on YouTube, yet theirs got the strikes. Unfortunately, I think YouTube is very much dialing up its awful banning policies across the board, and I think VTubers are heavily caught in this crossfire. If anyone at YouTube sees this, I really do wish you would take a better look at how you approach VTubers and creators that have already gotten their videos approved by the monetization teams in the past. I think you should reinstate MXR Plays, Bungo Taiga, and Shy Lily clips. I don't know, maybe this approach will help. It's just, I've been seeing this happen to so many people so much recently, and frankly, it fucking sucks.
I'm gonna be honest, this is... the excuse is good. But I have to think about the entire thing a bit longer. He still swept a bit of the entire thing under the rug, but... I'm not sure about it. I'm gonna be honest, I'm just not sure. I think I'm gonna get my end thinking about it out on Twitter, on X. But right now, I'm just... The thing is, he can't do anything about it right now. It's already done. It went in. And it could also be, if the sexual things are true, like with them, because I know with them, yes, this is the case. And they went on freaking... They went to the end. Like, they went to the extreme. Not the entire extreme, they were like short of the extreme, but they still went to the extreme. And I don't think they deserved a ban, but I understand why the ban happened, if this makes sense. Yeah, the entire thing is... Okay, Acolytes. Tell me in the comments what you think about it, and after that, good night.